in Gita Nagari about saying yes to Krishna. And in that, one of the topics that was discussed, which actually I had presented, which was not saying no to Krishna. And where that came from was the whole process of sankalp and vikalp. That when we decide to do something, knowingly or unknowingly, we make two decisions. We make a decision that we will do what needs to be done, and we make a decision that we will avoid all that is an hindrance to it or an obstacle to it. So let's assume we are trying to lose weight. So we say, okay, I will exercise, that's a do, and I will not eat too much. That's a don't. Or if we say that I want to learn something new. So one says that I practice, and so that's a do. And the don't is that I don't keep myself so busy that I don't get time to practice. So we go through the sankalp vikalp. We say that we will do the do's and not do the don'ts. Generally speaking, in Krishna consciousness or spirituality, there is a lot of focus on the do's, but the don'ts are also important to try to understand that what is keeping us back. So, different scriptures, different acharyas, they give different analogies to it. That you're trying to row a boat with the anchor down. So you have an anchor that is holding you back, and even though you're trying to row, the boat's not moving as fast or not moving at all. Or you're running in place. That you're running, but not traveling. So you're running in circles or running in place. And the understanding is that while you may be doing the do's, or you may be contemplating about doing the do's, but the fact that you are not careful about avoiding the don'ts will either hold you back or will not maybe even allow you to start seriously in that process. So when we look at what are the don'ts, they come in four broad categories. So I was classifying it as the category of people who say no. So they say yes to Krishna, and then there is a category of people who say no to Krishna. And there are four subcategories in it. So the first is who just say no. So these are people who have no interest in spirituality. So whether they are invested too much in the material conception. Krishna in Bhagavad Gita 2:44, he says, Bhogeshwarya prasakta nam, that people who are very much into bhoga, Bhogeshwarya prasakta nam. Aishwarya means into opulences. So they want to enjoy their senses. They want to enjoy their opulences. So prasakta nam means, asakta means very much invested into it. In the 16th chapter, Krishna speaks a little bit more about them He said they are Ishvara aham, aham bhogi, Siddho aham, Balwan sukhi. So there are many people who have this conception that Ishvara aham, aham bhogi, that I am God, aham bhogi. Everything that is around me is meant for my enjoyment. Siddha aham balvan sukhi. Siddha means I have all the powers that I need. Balwan, that I am the strongest. And sukhi is that I am the only one who is responsible for my own happiness. So why do people, some category of people, have this conception? So one reason that is given is that dushkrotata. Dushkrotata means that because of past sinful activities, they are overly infested with the reactions to the sins. So one thing that happens when you perform sinful activities is that it conditions you to perform more sinful activities. Just like when you perform pious activities, you get conditioned to performing more pious activities. When you perform devotional activities, you are similarly conditioned. So because of previous lifetimes, the persons are too much conditioned by the reactions to the past activities. So dushkrotata, it is coming from past karma. Second reason could be it is coming from past gyan. So either they lack Atma Tattva or they have a incorrect understanding of Atma Tattva. So many times when you talk to people, they say that life is meant to enjoy and be happy. Who knows what's going to happen? Nobody knows what's happening after death. So why invest in an unknown asset when you have a known asset right in front of you? That you invest your energy and the result is that you can enjoy right away. So Charvak Rishi, who is an ancient sage, this is his philosophy. So in the Charvak Samhita, he says that one should eat opulent food and drink ghee and be happy. Nothing else is actually needed after that. So what is the cure for this? And very often when we think about, when we have these discussions, so we feel that all these people are out there on the street. But factually speaking, all these people are there within us. So we are that person. We are that person who is, because of the past contamination, because of Bhogeshwari Prasaktanam, because of being invested in the material conception, are not able to take to the process of spirituality to the extent that we would like to take to it. So this is not a theoretical discussion, but it's a discussion that is applicable to each one of us in our own lives. So the cure to this is study of the scriptures. Because factually speaking, the conviction to follow spirituality does not come from empirical observation. So the points that are made are valid points, that who knows what happens after death. Nobody has died and come back and said that this is what happened. And we ourselves obviously don't have that experience. As per the scriptures, we have died many times, but we have no memory of that. So when we talk about spirituality, then we are talking about something that transcends the material senses. That's why it is called transcendental knowledge, because it transcends what you can perceive and conceive. So the only way to transcend it is by the study of the scriptures. The scriptures give us glimpse into that which is not empirically observable. Now, there's a difference between faith and blind faith. It's true that when you start your journey into spirituality, it requires blind faith. Like when we sit and read Gita, once I was having this discussion with somebody, and I said, in the Gita it is said. And to me it was very natural. And the other person said, who knows about the Gita? Because he did not even subscribe to the notion of 5,000 years Mahabharata was fought or Krishna is there. So in one statement, he had dismantled the whole framework on which I was presenting my argument. He said, everything that I say was either based on the Gita or the Bhagavatam. And he said, who cares about the Gita? I don't know. Were you there when it was spoken? I was not there. Right? Anybody could have written it. So to take the first step, it does require blind faith. Just like when you get onto the plane, you get on based on faith that the pilot knows how to fly. Right? You don't see the credentials of the pilot. You don't see the flying record of the pilot. You say, okay, let me hope that everything is going to be okay. That's blind faith. But it does not have to end at blind faith. Because you may start your spiritual journey based on blind faith, but then it becomes what is called validated faith. It is still faith, but it is validated faith. So like when we go to doctors, then the first time you go, maybe you do a little bit of research. This person graduated from this college, whatever it is, but it's mostly on blind faith. He prescribes you some medicines which you are actually going to be putting inside your body. But then once you take that medicine and then you see that the disease is being cured, then that blind faith becomes validated faith. It's still faith, because you still don't know the science of medicine. You still don't know the details of your own ailment, but you know that what this doctor has prescribed to me works for me. And then that point onward, it becomes validated faith. So that's how it is with scriptures. That's how it's with spirituality. That you start with the notion of blind faith. Prabhupada in the Bhagavad Gita's introduction says that what is the harm? Just assume that Krishna is God for a moment. Read the Bhagavad Gita with that conception. Apply the principles of Bhagavad Gita in your life, and you will see that what Krishna promises, he delivers. So when Krishna says that by understanding the difference between the body and the soul, you will become immune to the pushings of the mind. You will not become agitated by happiness and distress. Everything around you will become auspicious. When you start practicing that conception, that yes, I am not this body, but I am the eternal spirit soul, then you will see that life around you will change. It is a process, because just on a switch, we cannot move from one conception to another. But as we develop that conception, we also see the results that Krishna has promised begin